salty little bagels, my little droogies. Today is a fun day. We're going to talk about the fluids, the 4 fluids of the apocalypse, the horsemen of the fluid of the thing. This is going to go, we're going to go fairly fast, but this is applicable to all Promasters 14 and up. Let's move on. The 4 fluids of the apocalypse. We're going to move quickly, and I'm going to be very opinionated, which I normally am not. But in fluids, I feel like I know what I'm talking about, and I feel like you're going to learn what I'm talking about, and thus then we'll know it. Let us commence. All right, the most important fluid that we can talk about is motor oil. Here it is. Here's the stuff. This is Pennzoil Platinum, full synthetic, 5W20, available at every Walmart, usually for $22.97. Sometimes they sell it for $24.97 or whatever. Also available at almost all truck stops for egregiously high prices. Meijer's has it. Your local grocery store has it. The place where you get the cream cheese for your bagel has it. Okay, the important thing to know about oil is when your engine was built, most likely in Trenton, Michigan, maybe Saltillo, Mexico, but it was delivered with Pennzoil Platinum 5W20, this exact oil. When you go to the dealer, this is what they sell you. And I don't have empirical proof of this, but I think the engine was certainly designed around a very specific oil weight, but I think it was designed with this because I believe Chrysler is in bed with Pennzoil or vice versa. Either way, there's cuddling because this oil is one of the few that actually carries the spec. The spec you're looking for in your motor oil is this 6395. That MS means material specification, and other companies do it, but that is a Chrysler thing. And we're going to be going through in the fluids, the magical fluids, what the spec is for each one. This one meets the spec. Most oils do not, even something expensive like Mobil 1 or Royal Purple, because I believe Chrysler has to pay Pennzoil. Oh no, Pennzoil has to pay Chrysler to advertise that spec. What I do know is that if you have a warranty engine and you go in and they can prove that you are using oil that doesn't meet that spec, guess who's paying for that engine? If you look at my previous videos, you'll see a video regarding the Pentastar tick that shows that oiling is not a problem. In my opinion, again, everybody's opinions are like blastula. Everybody has many. There's no reason to use any other oil but this. It's the cheapest, it's the best, it's what it came with, and I have proven that it works. And you can take my word for it. Don't dick around with the weights either. You're not getting yourself anywhere. All right, let's move on to less exciting fluids. Okay, now we're going to talk about the coolant because it's very exciting. There's a couple of specs. 12106 is the real spec you're after. This one doesn't meet that specific spec, but it's okay to use because this is the concentrate and this is Mopar branded coolant. Surprisingly, on some things like coolant and antifreeze, Mopar is surprisingly affordable, the dealer rather. They don't really gouge you as bad as other manufacturers on parts and on liquids, fluids, juices, the juices of life, the aqua vitae. Anyway, I buy it in concentrate and I mix it with distilled water. I suppose you can use purified water. What you don't want to do is mix it with tap water because tap water has minerals in it and all kinds of other things, and you just don't want to do that. Will it make it blow up in 1 minute if you put tap water in? No, it won't, but over the very long haul, it's probably a bad idea. And if you can afford it, it's 99 cents. If you have the cushion to do so, use distilled water. You mix it 50-50 and so on and so forth. You carry it with you. That is the correct stuff. Now, very few places will carry 12106 on their shelf. I believe there is one Walmart brand that meets it. I could be wrong about that. But that's often not on the shelf and difficult to find. You won't find it in an AutoZone, and technically AutoZone does not have a correct coolant for your Chrysler. That is when the emergency measures comes in. Dun, da, da. This is DexCool, very generic GM product. This is the orange stuff, and this will work. Now, I spent quite a bit of time researching whether it will work or not. Because remember, mixing the two wrong kinds of antifreeze is a very bad thing. This is an OAT coolant. If you mix it with HOT, if you mix HOAT and OAT, you're going to have sludge in your cooling system, and that's bad. So you need to be very careful about that. The Chryslers use an OAT and so on and so forth. But anyway, In a pinch, you can use Dexcool. This is available everywhere. It claims on the back of the bottle, Ford, Chrysler, 13 and up, which would be the newest generation of Pentastar. And this area here is around when they switched from HOAT, hybrid organic acid technology, to OAT, organic acid technology. I'm okay with this. I mean, it'll look weird because it's a different color. If you know what you're doing, don't be afraid to use or carry. You know, it's an emergency thing. All right, now we move on to transmission fluid. This is one I feel where you don't have any room to dick around. You need to use something that meets 9602. Now, 9602 can be found not at AutoZone, but at other places as a Valvoline product. I forget the exact moniker of it, but it does meet that spec, which it tells me that Valvoline, Chrysler has paid Valvoline, or Valvoline has paid Chrysler, or however it works out. But the dealer is actually quite reasonable on these. I believe these were 36 bucks, 40 bucks, less than 40 bucks for a thing which seems expensive if you're an old man like me, but it's not expensive in the modern age. Try buying fluid for a CVT transmission or an 8-speed or something like that. Anyway, this is the correct stuff to use. Is there anything else to know about this? No, there's not. It is an ATF plus 4, and you know, we're going to have lots of arguments, I expect them, about, oh, well, you know, Super Hooper makes an ATF plus 4, and all ATF plus 4 is the same, you know, whatever. The problem with some of these fluids, not so much the coolant, and even less so the oil, but the problem is the price to find out that you've used the wrong coolant is so high, or the wrong fluid is so high, that I'm not willing to pay it. I'm not willing to find out if any ATF plus 4 works, because transmissions are expensive. And I like science, but not when I'm paying for it. And with something like transmission fluid, it's relatively, you usually have some kind of warning. It's not like you're by the side of the road, or even if you are, it's not like you're dumping 5 liters, you know, 1.3 gallons of transmission fluid in just to make it home so that you can replace it with the right stuff. It's a less of a rare proposition. Those emergency things are usually about almost always antifreeze, but often oil as well. All right, we're on to the last fluid of the 4 horsemen of the fluid that your vehicle takes. Power steering fluid, baby. Here it is. The 5-digit number that this meets is right there, 11655B, whatever that means. You know, you'll notice on the approvals here that this is all European stuff. Well, this is one of the few areas where the Promaster carried over the European Fiat, Ducato, and Peugeot stuff. The power steering pump, I believe, and certainly the fluid that it uses. I could be wrong about that, but this is quite a rare fluid and somewhat difficult to find. AutoZone has it. It's like 30 bucks for that, what is it, 1 quart? 1.06 quarts, a liter. You're going to need, I want to say, filling it from dead empty, a little bit more than 1 liter, but not much. And that seems very expensive, and it is. However, this is an area where I would be much more rigorous. Do not make any substitutes with the power steering fluid. Now, why would I say that? Well, one is the price to find out that you're wrong, again, extremely dear. That stuff will cost, you'll dump thousands into it if you destroy your power steering system. This stuff is some kind of fancy synthetic. It's alcohol-based. It's nasty smelling and weird looking, and it will burn your skin, but this is the crap to use. You will find this one they do carry at AutoZone. As I say, it's expensive. You can also get that from Chrysler, and I believe you can order that from Rock Auto. I believe all of these fluids, the panoply of fluids, can be ordered from Rock Auto. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about fluid? Know your fluids, your bodily essence, your purity of essence, your precious bodily fluids. That is a reference so old that none of you will get it. All right. I like to think we've learned a lot about our liquids and our loves, and our love of liquids, and maybe even our liquid loves. Carry on, good people. Until next time. And Promasters only. The shop will be open soon. Look, as soon as this goddamn van gets out of here. All right.